Thanks for joining us, Ahmed. First thing before we start, can you please give us an overview of Severn Trent Services and what it is that you do along with the rest of your team?
Yes. Hello everyone. My name's Ahmed. So I work for a company called Severn Trent Services. So we are part of a bigger sort of group, Severn Trent, who are a FTSE 100 company within the UK. Specifically within Severn Trent Services, we offer a range of water and wastewater services to both municipal and industrial clients also, which includes the likes of the Ministry of Defence and also the Coal Authority. Specifically within Severn Trent Services, you have various different business units, and I work specifically for one of those business units called Aqualytix, and we are an expert in the field of water treatment and also Legionella control. And specifically my role, so I've been around within this industry for about 4 years now, and basically I manage our one of the teams within our business, and I'm responsible for various aspects such as maintaining our systems, which is what today's talk's all about, and also delivering customer services amongst working on various different projects that will help drive our business forward.
Perfect. Thanks, Ahmed. So how long have you been using a compliance solutions, and what was it that made you choose to implement ZetaSafe?
Yeah, so we've been using a compliance tool for our business for well over 10 years now. So I've only been around for 4 years, but I know that we've definitely been using compliance systems for over 10 years now, and specifically ZetaSafe. We all understand sort of the difficulties and the complexities of modern buildings and how that makes compliance a very, very difficult challenge to keep on top of more than ever before. So, we wanted to kind of head in the direction of sort of using a compliance system that enables us to sort of helps us, maintain all of our data, share some transparency and information with our clients. And ZetaSafe specifically, we've been using for, I think, since 2012, I believe it is. And basically what it does is it helps us monitor all of the monitoring of clients that are stipulated in our contracts. And basically it means that we get rich information regarding all of our customers' assets. We're able to look at trends, we're able to agree programs of work with them, etc., using these systems. And we've sort of kind of gone away from the very old ways of working where you go out to site, work through logbooks or whatever it is. Everything's all electronic. It's very transparent also. So yeah, and the richness of data that you get out of these compliance systems is sort of the reason why we've sort of headed towards that direction. And I think that's specifically within our industry anyway, it's where the trends are heading.
Yeah. How do you currently use ZetaSafe and ZetaSurvey for your customers?
So in terms of ZetaSafe then, so I have to mention that we've been using ZetaSafe since 2012, so well over 10 years now, and we're not going anywhere else because the benefits that we've had using ZetaSafe, we've been working in a partnership for a very long time, and the way that we use ZetaSafe at the minute is that all of the monitoring that's required by our clients, which is usually stipulated in a contract, we automatically extract all those assets and basically set it up in ZetaSafe. So that is all of our customers' assets, the locations for all of their assets, and then what we do is we sort of agree a program of work with our clients, and at the back of that basically set up some sort of a schedule. So some tasks, depending on what the guidance says, might be monthly, some might be quarterly tasks, 6 monthly, but ZetaSafe basically covers all of that. So we agree that program of work, set it up on ZetaSafe, and then what happens then is we've now got, for the duration of that contract, a very robust and locked in schedule, which basically every single month our engineers will basically be carrying out monitoring as per what's on ZetaSafe, which is what's been agreed with our clients. So that's a brilliant thing for us, because obviously automatically you get transparency. You can't break the system. You can't really, change things. Once schedules are locked in, it's locked in. It's what was agreed at the start of the contract. So our engineers will basically on a month-by-month basis sort of carrying out all of the tasks that are due across all of our customers. I mentioned that the system's sort of live and transparent, and both the client and ourselves are able to see all of the works that are being carried out across all of their respective sites in live terms. And I think due to the richness of the data that also builds up over time on Zeta, what we are able to use ZetaSafe for at the same time is some sort of a consultancy sort of tool, if that even makes sense, in the sense that obviously if you've got a lot of sort of data that sort of kind of gobbles up and sort of comes together over time, it means that you're able to sort of get trends, particularly when it comes to asset health. So what we are able to do is sort of work with our esteemed clients and help them support with the analysis of their data, and help them look at things that they might need to pay attention to, etc. So that's ZetaSafe. And then we also have ZetaSurvey. So the way we see ZetaSurvey is like the sister of ZetaSafe, in the sense that in 2020 we went live with ZetaSurvey, and basically what ZetaSurvey does is it helps us, or it's helped our operations become 100% paper free, which is great from all that carbon neutral stuff. Because before, what we used to do in our operations, and it used to take quite a lot of time, was our engineers will go out to site. You've got various different tasks. They will go out to site, they'll fill out these manual sort of paperwork that then comes back into the office, that needs to be processed. It's a very long-winded way of working. But with the introduction of ZetaSurvey, we have been able to sort of generate online forms now. So basically everything that, depending on obviously what the asset and the task that's being carried out, we set up all of these surveys that our engineers, when they go out to a site to carry out a TMV inspection or a cold storage tank inspection or whatever, they will then they'll have some questions, they'll put the results, and they'll fill out the forms. And what that automatically does is they send that form and it gets stored on ZetaSafe at that very location that they've been working at, which means from the perspective of, the ease of, because obviously, with paper logs, etc., it's a very mundane way of sort of obtaining all that information. But with ZetaSurvey, the client's got all of that data there. They're not chasing us for it. It's quite instant as well. So at the point that the engineer or that they fill out all of these ZetaSurvey forms, it gets stored on the database, and the client has instant access to those customizable form-based questions, which has been a game changer for us.
Yeah, brilliant. So what are the benefits as an organisation of having ZetaSafe and ZetaSurvey?
So I would probably put it down to 3 key benefits, I'd say. So number one, at least within the industry that we're operating in, it helps us comply with regulations. So I've mentioned previously about the complexity of modern, buildings, and the complex compliance obligations can basically be tracked and managed with ease on ZetaSafe for us. Of course, there's a bit of work that goes in at the start, to set up all of the parameters for each task or whatever, but in essence, it helps us comply with regulations, and it can be tracked and managed with ease. So if you've got, you work in an industry where, you've got auditors, and, it's very easy to be able to gobble up and, get all of that information and sit with them and take through that journey. So number one is definitely complying with regulations. The other one that I've mentioned a couple of times is around transparency. So it's a very robust system, and it has a robust sort of audit trail, I'd say, and visibility that kind of reassures all required monitoring had been completed on time.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite key, because all of our clients, we are, they want their monitoring to be done. And ZetaSafe gives you exactly that, from, ideally you should be completing all your tasks, but if you don't, for whatever reason, you are able to use that system to be able to, log any missed tasks. Or let's say if we weren't able to sort of monitor a particular task, at a given time, we are able to put reasons as to why we've not done the tasks. We call these like could not completes. So we've attempted to carry out a task, but maybe we had no access to a particular building, maybe because there's some building works that were going on or whatever. All of that information we can put into the system, and it gives that transparency to the customer of where we are with their monitoring and what's been completed on time, what has not, what are the issues, etc. So transparency is definitely the other bit. And then the other bit that I probably wanted to mention is also around the benefits of being able to look at KPIs and trends. So again, if you remember ZetaSafe, you get that real-time visibility of data. And basically you can also set up like different parameters or whatever that kind of does auto escalations of non-compliance as well. That can go directly to a site responsible person or whatever from the client side of things. So as soon as you get a couple of failures or whatever, you can automate reports, which saves a lot of time, not just on our end, in a sense that the time that it takes to put in extract all of that data and then put it in pivots or whatever and then send to customers. You can bypass that by generating automatic reports and based on auto escalations, etc. So yeah, it's good.
Real. So obviously, looking at the benefits that it gives you, what would you say the feedback has been from your customers and the benefits that they might receive?
Yeah, so it goes back to some of the points that I've mentioned. So number one, it's around that visibility. When you go out to sites, the old ways of working, of going in to a particular site, filling out logbooks, it's a thing that's completely changed for us in the sense that we've moved all electronically now, and by doing so, it means that there is that less back and forth between us and our clients, in the sense that if the information is already available in the database, yes, of course, we've still got our regular meetings and touch points with our clients, but it helps with that self-serve thing on Zeta. So it means they've got instant access. It also means from their perspective there's more visibility. They are able to intercept issues far quicker. So they're using this tool as a more of a proactive management than it is reactive sort of thing, because with all of these different trends that's on ZetaSafe, coupled with the consultancy that we give our clients, we are using the system more as a proactive management tool as opposed to reactive. And also what it can do is, from an operational perspective, it's very easy for our engineers to sort of kind of become accustomed to the system. It's very easy for them to use. They go into sites, the operational efficiencies that and obviously related to it, the economic benefits also of using that tool is absolutely brilliant for your operations. You go out to site, all of our assets are sort of barcoded, probably not at the start, but it happens across the course of the contract. The engineer simply goes in, takes their phone, scans the barcode, put the results in, off they go to the next task. It's honestly that dead simple. So there are some big operation benefits there, which are clients also like as well, because it means every single barcode or every single one of our assets is barcoded, and therefore is very easy to trend the asset health of it. I think a lot of our clients, a lot of the feedback we get is around the individual asset, the granular detail that you can go into individual assets, rather than just looking at the overarching a site. You can drill down into specific assets as well and have a look at that trend. So it is a benefit from that angle as well.
Brilliant. So the last question that we've got is, if you had any advice, what would it be to other service providers about moving to a compliant solution?
Yeah, I mean, it's, the way that, the world is at the minute, especially when it comes to compliance and, everything's heavily audited, it it's a no-brainer for me. And the reason for that is because obviously we've been using ZetaSafe for over 10 years, and from an operations perspective, and also all of the administration functions, it's more than halved a lot of the transactions that we do, because the system in essence does a lot of work for you, in the set for, coming from, storing all of your documents in one place. I mean, every single one of our clients have got access to their own channel, right? They can go in at any single point in time. They are able to extract their own paperwork. They can see the visibility of work having been completed without you having that, back and forth. Yes, you're still going to liaise with your clients on a weekly, monthly basis or whatever you've got in place, but nevertheless, it takes away a lot of pain from a paperwork perspective. What it also does is it keeps not only just ourselves, on top of all of the trends, all the problems, some areas from a compliance perspective across our different contracts, but more importantly, you can set a lot of these things up for our clients as well. So they might be particularly interested in specific sort of trends. A lot of the dashboards and the widgets are also customizable for our clients. So some clients might want to have a look at, repeat failures. We can set up dashboards on the system to show them that. Clients have got instant access, as I mentioned previously. So definitely, if you're interested as a business to, kind of move away from, all of this like paper form sort of ways of working, and you want to go 100% electronic, definitely ZetaSafe's the one. And the richness of data that you get out of it, like I mentioned previously, in terms of you service an asset over the course of a year, you'll have rich data across that year and trends that shows you the actual drill down of the asset health of all of the assets across their business, and you're able to then sort of come in and intercede, and make some radical changes proactively to deal with those kind of issues. Whereas if you were monitoring just using paper sort of formed solutions, then it could take a long time, and you could have compliance issues as well, and it's very difficult to sort of interject.
Real lovely. Well, thanks very much for your time, Ahmed.
No worries, that's fine. Thank you, Nuala. Really appreciate the time.
No problem.